Warning, the Stone Age Gamer includes a lot of bad language. Cover your mother ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer Podcast. I am Kris Randazzo and joining me tonight is excellent retro compilation, Dan Ryan.
So excellent. I have so many bonus features. I've got a museum collection. And a secret hidden level.
I've unlocked more Dan Ryans just by playing this one. As 2023 descends upon us, it is time once again for Dan and I to look back at the year that was. Which month of 2022 was the best? Inhale an entire car, because the Stone Age Gamer Podcast starts now. Hi everyone, this is episode 445. It is the week of January. No, I'm realizing I wrote this wrong. Today is January 6th. It is the week of January 13th. There we go. That's how numbers work.
Happy Insurrection Anniversary, Kris. What do we call this? It's the official.
I don't know.
Insurrection Day? I don't know.
I don't know, and I don't want to know. But hey, we're here.
Know.
It's January 13th, and we have a lot of show to get to, but I have a few things I want to touch on beforehand. Thing number one.
Oh, touch on.
Dan.
Yes.
Thing number two. All right, thing number one. I did manage to finish Picto-Bits right before the new year.
Nice.
I got it done, but this is what's funny, is that after I finished it, my kids wanted to see the pictures again, and I don't feel like beating the levels again because it was incredibly hard. So I went to YouTube, and I saw, like, beat this stage, no POW. And I was like, no POW? What the hell are you talking about? So, on a hunch, I decided to watch the tutorial. Turns out that there's several mechanics in this game that, had I known about, would have made it considerably easier to beat the game.
Jesus.
Now, to be fair, one of those mechanics is a POW block. And if you use the POW block, it clears a bunch of your screen and stuff, but it costs you an inventory slot until you can buy it back with coins.
Sure.
But if you beat a stage using a POW block, you don't get a star. So I starred the entire game. Good for me. But the other one...
Aren't you so fucking special?
I've been replaying it using this other technique. What I didn't realize, I always thought the multiplier, like the score multiplier, was just like points.
Yeah.
Yay. But it actually helps you beat the stage. It's not just points and coins. The multiplier multiplies the number of tiles that you clear. So if you clear 4 white tiles, but it's at a 7 times multiplier, ta-da. So this is how you're supposed to beat those stages where, like, I'm waiting as long as I possibly can, clearing what I can, trying to get just a few more white blocks. Well, I should have had 4 to 5 times as many already if I had just used the damn multipliers, but I never bothered taking the slight extra risk of, like, just going the extra mile to make sure the multipliers are counting, because I didn't need any more coins. I had all the coins I needed. I'm fucking stupid is what it boils down to. Watch the tutorial, folks. Sometimes they tell you things that are important.
I'm a fucking moron.
The only other thing I wanted to mention, video game related anyway, is that I did buy Pong Quest. I said I was going to. It's stupid, but I love it. It's stupid in the best possible way. It's also, like, super undercooked. Like, this is a really good idea, but they didn't go very far with it. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of a bummer. But what's there is very fun. So, like, it's a Pong RPG. There's no real overworld. There's, like, a hallway, and you go into these different dungeons, and the dungeons are laid out like, you know, like Zelda 1 dungeons. They're just screen by screen kind of thing. You have to, like, do a thing, move down to the next floor, do a thing. But all the random encounters, instead of an RPG fight, you have to play Pong. But you play Pong with all these different items. So every time you do a move in Pong, every time the ball hits your paddle, you lose a tiny bit of health. So, like, the idea is to try to get the match over as quickly as possible, because, you know, you lose health the longer that you're playing the game, but so does whoever you're fighting against. But there's also a constant flow of items that you can use throughout the course of your match. So, like, you pick up these items all over the place, but you can only enter a match with 3 of them. So, like, there's icons all over the place, but you have to always choose only 3 until you can level up and get more inventory slots to take into battle with you. And once you get started, and it's like, all right, well, I have used my standard ball, which you have infinite of, and then you have a certain number of uses for every other thing that you get. Like there's potion ball, and that heals you every time you complete a volley. Or there's a baseball one that bounces off the sides of the screen, which is really hard to dodge. The computer seems to have no problem dodging it, but I always get messed up with it. Or there's like a strength ball. The
computer is just fine.
Yeah, computer's fine. Strength ball like takes away more health, things like that. It's really fun. I from what I can understand, it's not very long, so I'm definitely not going to have a hard time beating it. But
that is definitely what she said.
Oh yeah. So, Pong Quest, super cool. I also did start Dead Cells, but I only put about 20 minutes into it. I think I like it. I'm not sure yet. I've died 3 times and started the loop over again. You know how I feel about randomly generated stages. I know what I want out of a game. I want to be able to learn the game and then, do it and do
then
things,
get better at it. And yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
The gameplay loop may have started to click with me. I think I like the fact that it's random, but like only kind of random. Like it's like here, this layout is random, but the same things are kind of sort of in it with a similar-ish sort of layout. So once you learn it, then it's like, and the way that it kind of plays on the random nature of it, of like every time you wake up, somebody's looking at you like, yeah, this is fucking weird, isn't it? It doesn't look anything like it did last time.
There's definitely some like really, really cool elements to it, and I really want to like it. I really do.
You said you played it before, but then it had a bunch of updates?
Yeah, I haven't played it since the updates. I will try it again at some point.
Yeah, see, I don't know what I'm missing. All I know is that the gameplay loop was relatively fun. I don't know if it's going to bother me. I don't know how much into it I'm going to get, but I did give it a try, and I don't hate it yet, but I haven't put much time into it, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to describe how I felt about it. Like, I don't hate it, but I don't feel compelled to play it past what I have.
Right.
Like, okay, this is all right.
So far, I am indeed compelled to play it more, but I've only put, like I said, 20, 30 minutes into it, so we'll see. But the most important news before we get to business here is that I got my 2023 Dad Jokes calendar in the mail today.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. So
I thought it was going to be the ridiculous deal that I got on the PlayStation Store today, which was the Samurai Showdown Neo Geo collection for $3.99.
Gosh dang, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
That's a spicy deal right there.
Yeah, very, very happy with that purchase.
Well, with that under our... Do you have anything else you want to hit? I mean, I was going to read the first, 6 jokes in here, but...
No, I mean, I think you should... Vampire Survivors is fucking great.
Oh, you jumped in, huh? Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
awesome.
made it. I love it.
I unlocked Poe, I think is the guy who starts with the garlic.
Oh yeah, starting with the garlic, the old guy, right?
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
That's the fucking way to go.
He's my favorite. I love the garlic so much. You just plow right through everybody.
Starting with the garlic, and then getting the fucking King Bible, get that going around. That's good stuff.
I've gotten really good with the knife guy.
Yeah, I like him too.
Like I've gotten farther than I ever thought I would with that knife guy, because once you get a really high throwing rate and 7 knives, you're just like this ridiculous machine gun of knives.
Yeah, it's pretty
fantastic.
It's pretty great. Yeah. It's a really really fun game. I really love playing it. I'm playing it on the mobile version on the TV. So I'm screencast, I'm airplaying to the television, which is working out fucking dope. By the way, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
Just having access to Shovel Knight Dig and Horizon Chase Turbo are the 2 biggest Apple Arcade games that have come out recently, and Vampire Survivors, I suppose. Playing them up on the TV, but also the Xbox games and anything else that's in the App Store. And that there is the tiniest bit of lag. Like, it is there. It does exist, but not enough to, like, I wouldn't try to play in a high-level competitive, like, fighting game tournament with the backbone airplayed to the television. But other than that, it's fucking awesome. It's great. Love it.
I'm very happy that that is working out for you the way that you wanted it to.
Yeah. I got to, the only thing I got to do, I think, is what would improve my experience is because the analog sticks are, they're the same as the Switch. Like, they're the exact same size and, like, dimension and whatever.
The Joy-Cons or the Pro Controller?
The Joy-Cons.
Oh.
So they're a little tiny. You know, they're a little tiny, but they sell, you know, different things online. So I want to try a couple different products of, like, widening out the grip or making it a little taller. I think we'll make it more comfortable, and then it'll be everything I wanted.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, give me some dad jokes.
I'm sorry, I'm ripping off some the cover and stuff. And while I'm doing that, I did download the mobile version of Vampire Survivors, and I was not crazy about the touchscreen controls, which made me very happy. John was watching
I can't imagine
YouTube
that
videos,
plays well,
right? Like it plays okay, I guess, but like no, I was not having it. But John was watching a bunch of YouTube videos about Goat Simulator, and I was just like, okay, I'm bored.
I don't want to watch this.
Like I'm done. I'm good. I don't need to watch obnoxious YouTubers yell about Goat Simulator. So I'm gonna.
All right, bro. This is so fucking sick. Watch what I do with this goat. So
I decided to kinda.
Oh God.
Very broy. So I decided, well, it's time. I'm just gonna go ahead and give this a whirl. And you know, it was fine. I did pretty well, but it was. Once I got to a certain point, like I don't have the clarity of movement that I require to survive the insanity that is that game. All right, January 1st. You should be
playing Marvel Snap. Anyway.
I'm good. All right, January 1st. I'm not impressed with the organizers of the New Year's Eve celebration at Times Square. They always drop the ball.
Oh.
Nice. January 2nd. This ski trip started off great, but it was all downhill from there. January 3rd. As a lawyer, the number of wrongful convictions shouldn't surprise me. After all, it's just trial and error.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
January 4th. Question. What did the snowman say to the snowman he was trying to woo?
Oh, Jesus. What?
I only have ice for you.
Oh. And he wasn't talking about his eyes, boys and girls.
January 5th. When I was in quarantine, it was hard to be funny. I could only make inside jokes.
All right, that's really good.
Yes,
that's really funny.
That's definitely my favorite so far.
Yeah, that's outstanding.
January 6th for today. Dad, my friend Jordan wears snow pants at recess. Wow, why don't the teachers tell her to put pants on? Wears snow pants.
Wears snow pants. She wears snow pants, Chris.
Snow pants at all. Oh, I love it. This is the best purchase I've made. This is going right here on my desk. And I'm going to peel one off every morning and annoy the crap out of my family with it. It's going to be great.
I had one for John. I thought he would appreciate this one. What is a snowman's favorite Mexican food?
I don't know what.
Burritos.
John will hate it, but Ellie will love it.
I thought somebody would like it. I liked it.
All right. So inside jokes with my winner. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go through, like we've done in the past, at least I think this is how we've done it in the past. We're going to go through month by month. I have conglomerated all of the major game releases or notable game releases. This is not like the 10, 20, 30, 40 where we're talking about everything. Just the stuff that jumped out of me that was really worth noting.
Yeah.
As well as news stories, Nintendo Direct, state of plays, all that kind of stuff. And what we're going to do is we're going to treat this kind of like we do those our ranking things. We're going to rank every month after we finish every month.
All right. I mean, we've never done it that way before.
We've never done it that way,
That's
but I
a
thought
new
that
wrinkle.
would be fun.
I like that wrinkle.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good time. I think it's going to be good.
It's good.
All right, January 2022, the year of our Lord. Everybody's still, having a good old time. 2020 and 2021 were just fantastic years all around for everybody involved.
So good.
Yeah. So 2022, Picross S7 came out for Switch. So they're still riding the old Picross train. SNK versus Capcom Card Fighters Clash came out for Switch, which was part of this weird line of Neo Geo Pocket Color games being sold piecemeal on the Switch, which is kind of strange.
It's very strange.
Yeah, but just kind of out of nowhere. But they started
it exists.
Yeah, I'm happy about it. It's just didn't really see that coming. Shadow Man, of all things, Shadow Man remastered comes to PlayStation and Xbox consoles. Did you ever play Shadow Man?
Man, I mean, back in the day, sure, but I did not play the remastered version because
me neither.
Because the first game, because they were remastering Shadow Man.
Yeah,
and that's just not something that needed to be done.
Yeah, it wasn't crazy. Like, I think the original one was okay, but it was like...
Oh, sure.
It came out around the same time as Soul Reaver, and was like, all right, but Soul Reaver, why am I going to play Shadow Man?
I like the Shadow Man comic book way more. You know? It's just, of all the games that are begging, that are fucking thirsty for a remake, Shadow Man is the one that we got.
Meanwhile, God of War came to PC. That was a big deal.
That is a big deal.
People
Pretty
were
awesome.
Pissed about that.
Oh, such a good game.
Those people are morons.
Those people are fucking gatekeeping douchebags.
Oh no, more people can play God of War. What a shame. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction hit all next-gen platforms, including Google Stadia.
Which is not a thing we will say very often during this episode.
Had a very bright future in January of 2022.
So bright.
It's going to be a good year for Stadia, without a doubt. Windjammers 2 came out.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, I still haven't played that, but I really have to.
It's so good.
Bravely Default Brilliant Lights was a mobile spin-off of the Bravely Default series. That happened. Pokemon Legends Arceus. That came out. That was a big deal. A lot of people liked that one.
Yeah.
Which is weird for a Pokemon game, you know? Usually Pokemon games come out, and then Pokemon fans are just like, man, Pokemon's fucking terrible. Everything's terrible. Game Freak should burn in hell, and everyone should rape their daughters. These people are the worst people in the world. How fucking dare they make a low-poly tree in my Pokemon? Settle the fuck down.
Settle the fuck down, because it still sold a gajillion D copies.
And apparently this one was pretty fun. And so, like, while those loud people were kind of loud for this one, they were really saving up for Scarlet and Violet, which pulled down the thunder. Pokemon. Anyway, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection got upgraded for PS5 and PC, so Sony hitting the old PC market.
Yeah, no,
that's about it for... Go ahead.
That's great. Uncharted, awesome. Legacy of Thieves is a good collection. I mean, play the Uncharted games if you haven't at this point. They're outstanding.
So that was about it for notable games. And in the news, Monster Games is the company that was notable for stuff like NASCAR Heat, but more importantly, Excite Truck. That was acquired by a company called iRacing.com Motorsport Simulations. So Monster Games probably not going to be making any more Excite games.
Truck, yeah.
Not that Nintendo was going to do that anyway, which is a goddamn shame because Excite Truck is fantastic. And Excite Bots was pretty goddamn good too. But they just kind of dropped that like it was hot. And in January was when Microsoft announced that they were intending to buy Activision Blizzard for $69 billion.
Nice. Yeah, I mean...
That still hasn't officially gone through yet. But,
no, it's not even fucking close.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen, honestly, at this point.
I don't know if I don't know if it's going to happen. I know that just in my core, I hate the idea of it happening, but also, I mean, Activision is not what it used to be, so I hate what Activision has become, you know?
Yeah. At some point, because like Call of Duty is the only thing that anybody gives a shit about. Like
Activision Blizzard?
Yeah.
Blizzard? Really?
Like, yes.
Diablo and
I stand by it. If
that Call of Duty's the only thing, I don't fucking think so.
Okay, not that Call of Duty is
grotesquely underestimating what Blizzard brings to the table as far as player base.
Where I stand with this, though, the hill I'm going to die on is that if they took Call of Duty completely out of the equation, this would have been approved already.
Yeah, probably.
So when I say that that's the only thing anybody cares about, I know that Blizzard is like a thing and people give a shit about that. I don't. But like, I do understand that there are other people in the world besides me. But yeah, like if you take Call of Duty out of the equation, this sale is completed. And Activision Blizzard is part of it. So as long as Call of Duty remains a part of this, I don't see how it gets done. I just don't know that there's any concessions to be made to make everybody happy, whether that should be the case or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I necessarily agree with it, because if you take Call of Duty out of the equation, the amount of studios that Microsoft has already picked up, I think Sony is already kind of cheesed about that. So I think that anything of this size, Call of Duty definitely exacerbates the situation, but anything of this size that Microsoft throws this much money at, that's this large, I think Sony would have caused the same stink. I don't know that it would have gone as far, but I don't know. I really don't know. I know Call of Duty is a massive brand, but I also know how much Blizzard stuff means to Sony products as well. So,
but does it?
I have to assume so. I don't have my fingers on the pulse of the Diablo community any more than the Call of Duty community. I just know those games are fucking massive. Like, but player base wise.
I don't know. I don't know this off the top of my head because I don't play Diablo. But I don't think Diablo comes close to Call of Duty. That's my assumption.
Yeah, I don't know.
We could look this up. I'm not going to. I'm just going to fucking blindly go. I'm just going to hot take this and
Diablo,
and say
StarCraft, Warcraft, World of Warcraft, like Hearthstone.
Who cares?
Overwatch.
Who cares? Overwatch,
None of that is who cares. Like,
but
as far as the console is concerned, Hearthstone, sure. I mean,
nobody gives a shit about Overwatch 2. That has fucking failed miserably. You hear anybody talking about it? No. Did you know it was out?
Mike Sheridan he plays it.
Okay, Mike Sheridan talks about it.
So I know one guy. I don't talk to a lot of guys. I don't know what to tell you.
I'll talk to a lot of guys. Compare that.
I thought Overwatch was doing okay. I don't know.
Compare that to the way people were talking about Overwatch.
Oh, yeah.
That game was inescapable.
Yeah, it definitely took a big hit. But I'm sure it still has a pretty big player base. But no, we're not talking Call of Duty numbers here. But, I mean, I don't know what World of Warcraft still does. But I know that putting all that stuff together equals one big fat hairy deal. And I don't imagine PlayStation would be all that happy about not having the ability to get any of those games on their platform, which isn't even the case. Microsoft's just like, yeah, we'll still put them on PlayStation. We don't give a fuck. We don't care where the money comes from.
Which is actually like a cool way to be about it. I guess. I don't know. That's whatever.
So in stark contrast, Sony also attempted to buy Bungie for a measly $3.6 billion.
And nobody cared.
Yeah, like, okay, you bought Bungie.
Great.
They're doing great.
I mean, Destiny is still doing as well as it has been. I feel like Destiny is one of those weird games where it's just been just consistent. You know, it's not Call of Duty, but it has been consistent. So
that's it. Just Destiny. That's what they're on right now. It was the Halos, and then they just done Destiny and Destiny 2, and yeah. Anthem, that's the one I'm thinking of. That's not these guys.
No, that was EA, I think.
Who cares? Anthem is hilarious. That game did poorly. And then the New York Times company bought Wordle.
And man, Wordle kind of went away, right? Like, I don't see anybody posting.
I see him periodically, but yeah, after the whole after it got bought by the New York Times, it dropped significantly.
Yeah, way to fuck that up. Who would have thought, Chris, back in the halcyon days of January 2022, that the New York Times, the New York fuck Times, purchasing a video game would be a bad idea?
Yeah, who would have thought?
With all of their experience, you know, managing and running video game publishers and companies and all of the stuff that goes along with it. I mean, it seemed to make so much sense on the surface.
And the New York Times does such a good job already on what they do, you know? They're so very good at making people happy.
Oh my God, of being not... Like, when Fox News yells about coastal elites, I feel like they're yelling about people who read the New York Times.
Yeah, or at least people who used to read New York Times.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't read the New York Times because I'm not a fucking reader anymore. I just don't read the news anymore. It's really what it comes down to. So I don't know what that paper is like anymore. But damn.
So January off to an okay start, and nothing. I mean, some crazy news, but yeah. All right, January. Let's talk February. The next month, Ollie Ollie World releases. Sifu comes out for PS4 and 5. Breakout Recharged continues the recharged line on all current platforms, including the Atari VCS. Still in the game. Kingdom Hearts Integrum Masterpiece for Cloud comes to Switch and pisses off everyone. Pisses off / baffles everybody of like, why haven't you put Kingdom Hearts on a fucking Nintendo platform yet, you idiots? Like, this is where your audience is. All right, fine, we'll do it. But we're only going to do cloud versions. What the fucking fuck is wrong with you? Oh, and we're going to charge full price for it. Mm-hmm. Fuck you forever. Mm-hmm. Square can jump in a butt. Infernax, on the other hand,
Infernax with a good time.
Infernax comes out for all current platforms. Infernax, one of the coolest games of the year. River City Girls 0 comes out for Switch. Cyberpunk 2077 gets upgraded for Series X and PS5, which is apparently at this point a decent game, but they burned all that goodwill to get to that point.
Not a game I'm going to play, I don't think.
Yeah, same here. King of Fighters 15, Horizon Forbidden West was, I mean, obviously a very big deal, but got very overshadowed this year. And in fact, did I put Elden Ring? Yeah, Elden Ring didn't make my list. I'll have to figure that out as we're talking here. But yeah, so
I mean, Elden Ring, like possibly
it's
the biggest game released this year.
Where did it? How come it didn't show up on my?
It was in February
list. Was it in February?
February 25th.
Holy shit! Yep, that's right. Came right after Horizon Forbidden West, completely overshadowing it. I can't remember if it was this month or the next month, but yeah, poor Horizon. Like, didn't the first one came out right around Breath of the Wild?
Yep.
And the second one comes out right around Elden Ring. It's like it didn't click with me, but it is very clearly a quality game. Like,
it's great. Yeah.
It's a damn good game, and it's really unfortunate timing that it seems to be always going up against a similar, way more, I don't want to say way better, but more culturally
mainstream,
significant.
Yeah.
You know, like...
More pop culturally significant.
Exactly. Like, Breath of the Wild was a thing. Elden Ring was a thing, you know? And Horizon was like, hey, here's this awesome new IP. And like, yeah, this is fucking great. But did you see this guy do a weird thing with a box in Zelda? I mean... That is awesome.
Did you do a weird thing with any boxes, Aloy? I don't think you did.
So. You're not getting struck by lightning while swimming in a lake trying to fight a dragon? Yeah, that's a bummer, but Elden Ring, freaking huge game. Freaking huge. Puzzle and Dragons for Nintendo Switch. I'm sure that meant something to somebody. It seems like it probably did pretty well in Japan, but after having played Puzzle and Dragons, I don't know that I'd want to play it on Switch. I don't know. Maybe the larger screen would help with the touchscreen kind of stuff. I don't know. Just it seems too perfect for mobile. But anyway,
yeah,
that's about it for games. Obviously, the biggest one being Elden Ring, but pretty solid list right there.
Yeah, it's not bad. I still got to play Sifu at some point.
Right? Yeah, that definitely looked like a Dan-ass game. I'm surprised you haven't played
it. Really
that yet.
did.
But
I don't know. Something about it just doesn't compel me to pick it up.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Weird. In the news, Nintendo announced that it was buying, was it a longtime development partner SRD. I don't know. I don't remember what they worked on specifically, but they did it. And Nintendo doesn't often buy studios, so that was pretty cool.
They really don't, no.
What was SRD? I feel like I should know this. I really should know this. SRD Game Studio. Nintendo acquires SRD. They were a longtime partner that worked on various. They did like Game Builder Garage. They've worked on Donkey Kong stuff, Mario stuff. So yeah, they've just been helping Nintendo out for ages, and they finally bought it. Good. They finally put a ring on it, as it were. The Steam Deck came out.
Yeah, that thing looks cool.
Yeah, it looks neat. I still don't know that I need one because like. It doesn't. I don't like doing PC gaming, and that's really what this is. It's PC gaming on the go, which is super fucking cool for people who like PC gaming. But I'm not that guy. Steam Deck does not hold any luster for me. It should, but I'm a weirdo. What do you want? Let's see. The Cuphead show premiered on Netflix. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, we've watched a bunch of that here. It's great.
Is it okay?
It's great. It's more than okay. It's fucking great. It's genuinely funny and a really good adaptation of the cartoon. It's solid stuff. It's weird though because that's going to come up more times than you think this year. Also, the Uncharted movie hit movie theaters, which I forgot was even a thing.
Oh, that movie was great.
I didn't see it. But I completely forgot that was a thing before doing the notes for this. I was like, oh shit, that happened.
I enjoyed the shit out of that movie. Not gonna lie. It's not good, but it is great.
That's my kind of movie. Yeah, it's been on our list of things to watch for a while. I guess just fell off.
I feel like if you're the type of person who watches Indiana Jones and when you're done with an Indiana Jones movie, you're like, that was fucking great. You'll like Uncharted. Like it's in the same
games. I like Indiana Jones movies, so
it's the same level of stupid. Like there's nothing any more unbelievable in the Uncharted movie, except for maybe fucking the fact that Mark Wahlberg continues to get work. That might be the most unbelievable thing.
That's the big draw of Indiana Jones. It's part of it's the story, but the other part of it's Harrison Ford, and I just
Tom
don't
Holland
know
is
that.
Awesome.
I don't know that I love Tom Holland as Nathan Drake enough to watch this movie, but
he was great.
We'll see.
He was great. It should have been fucking George Clooney in the Sully role. That was the casting that should have been made.
That would have been good.
I know that movie caught a ton of shit. If you go in there expecting to see a big, dumb, stupid movie that you can shut your brain off for a little bit and just enjoy the pretty, it's awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Let's see. We also had the first Nintendo Direct of the year on the 9th, followed by Pokemon Arceus, whatever, a specific one on the 27th. The General Direct included announcements for Switch Sports, the Mario Kart DLC, Fire Emblem 3 Hopes, Advance Wars Reboot Camp, rest in peace, Mario Strikers, Mouthful Mode from Kirby was shown up for the first time, MLB The Show for Switch was shown for the first time, they announced the Kingdom Hearts Cloud version, the Portal Collection, Earthbound 1 and 2 coming to Switch Online, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3, among other things. That was a fucking massive Direct.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't even everything. That was just the stuff that was like, oh shit, that was actually newsworthy. That's fucking wild.
Still the most disappointing Direct I've ever seen, considering that Reboot Camp still isn't out.
Yeah, still missing in action.
Yeah.
There was also a State of Play in February where Sony basically just showed off Gran Turismo 7.
Which is a huge, massive, stinky deal for a lot of people.
Giant deal for a lot of people that aren't us.
That are not us. Man, that game is pretty.
It sure as heck is. It looks just like looking at a car.
It really does. And if you are into that
point, I kind of feel like I should just go look at a car.
Yeah. I mean, I can't go look at those cars because, like,
that's a good
I
point.
show up and they're like, sir, you clearly don't have the money to put fucking gas in this thing, let alone purchase it. What is wrong with you?
You being near this car is tainting its value. You need to leave now.
Your beard is far too unkempt for this Countach or whatever the fuck it is.
And probably, and last but not least, our dear friend, Mr. Tommy Tallarico, quote unquote, steps down as Intellivision CEO. So Tommy T no longer in charge of the Intellivision Amico, and his continued situations following that have sure been entertaining. But this was
right.
The Amico was still they're still trying to convince people at this point this system's coming out, is real, and Phil Adam takes over as CEO of Intellivision Entertainment. So I think February handily beats January.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah,
I mean, Elden Ring alone being most people's game of the year from February. Yeah. Elden Ring plus Horizon plus I don't know, Breakout Recharge is pretty fucking cool. I don't know if it's game of the year material. Steam Deck releasing. Cuphead show is really solid. Yeah, February is a good month. Good month for video games. All right, March. Let's march on to March. Gran Turismo 7 comes out. Hooray.
Yay.
Triangle Strategy continues Square's ridiculous naming scheme for Switch. Triangle Strategy for Switch. Chocobo GP for Switch comes out and is immediately shat upon for all of its really disgusting monetizing mechanics.
Yeah.
Square Enix just squeenixing all over that one.
Just squeenixing left and right, all over the face, neck, and chest of Final Fantasy fans.
And that game is their long-term support has officially been closed on Chocobo GP. Their long-term support was like less than a year.
It was a long 9 months.
Yep. Boo. GT Online and 5 get ported to Xbox Series X and PS5 because those games will last forever. It just won't stop. Tunic releases for Xbox.
Tunic is wonderful.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that eventually. It's
really good.
It's on the list, but I want to get through.
It's not my game of the year. I don't think that surprises anyone. No. But it's really good.
Looks really good. Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin for PlayStation and Xbox came out. I forgot this was a thing.
Yeah, me too.
That's the the Muso game, I think, right?
Sure.
Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. Square, stop doing. Just stop. You really don't need to use this many words when you're naming your games. What the hell is this game?
It's so weird because like it's just a very Japanese thing to do. Like a lot of like New Japan Pro Wrestling events have that kind of weird naming convention after them as well. Like and Stardom, which is the female wrestling promotion, has like these crazy names for shit. Whereas like the American version, we're like, bah, fucking AEW, fuck you. That's the next show that we're running. Like, it just doesn't have this crazy thing behind it. So,
No, it's not a Muso game. It's like a third-person action game. Yeah, I don't know. Looks weird. It's a Final Fantasy game, though. Anyway, Tempest 4000 came out. It came out a couple of years ago on like a computer, but now it's came to Atari VCS and Switch in March of last year. Yeah. Tempest 4000, cool ass game. I'm terrible at Tempest, but it's really awesome. Ghostwire Tokyo for PS5.
Man, I really want to play that one too.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Freaking adored that game. Came out in March. First 3D Kirby game. Just a wonderful, wonderful game, top to bottom. Death Stranding Director's Cut came out for PC. And the Mario Kart DLC started.
Yeah. That's all pretty awesome.
In the news, Epic Games announced its acquisition of internet music company Bandcamp. I didn't realize that Epic Games bought Bandcamp. I had no idea that was a thing.
I don't know that we even talked about that. That's pretty nuts.
Just no idea. I use Bandcamp for a bunch of things. This was a neat one. I actually remember this happening. Atari acquired video game database Moby Games. Feel a little less happy about that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't love, but I like the current iteration of Atari. I've liked a lot of things about the current iteration of Atari, but them owning Moby Games is like a really great and I think pretty damn important video game database. I use it all the time.
Yeah.
It being owned by a company that makes games makes me feel a little uneasy, but so far things haven't gotten worse, and I do think it is extremely weird that most VCS games aren't listed on Moby Games. You'd think they would have went and did that, because it's not like there's a lot of VCS games. Could probably get them posted on Moby Games in a day or two, tops. Anyways, Embracer Group acquired Dark Horse Media, the parent company of Dark Horse Comics and Dark Horse Entertainment. That Embracer Group, they're scary. They own a lot.
Yeah, I don't like that.
A lot. Yeah, not a huge fan of that. GDC was held in San Francisco in March. Halo TV series premiered on Paramount Plus.
I watched the first episode of that and wasn't blown away. It all looked really good. I just don't care about Halo enough.
Yeah, I didn't give it a try. I don't know that I can see Pornstache in that kind of a role. Also, like, they did the whole thing where, like, he just has his helmet off for most of the show.
Yeah.
I thought that wasn't a thing. You know?
Did it do well? Like, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember
a lot
really
of people talking
about
about it this year.
I feel like it did well enough to probably get a follow-up season, but I don't. I remember it being talked about a little, but I don't remember it really blowing up like you would have thought a Halo TV series would. But
right, like we are expecting the Last of Us TV series to kind of blow up.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. But that's neither here nor there. And the
anyway.
last piece of news for March, the Intellivision Amico quote-unquote unboxing video shows up on their YouTube channel in March of 2022, where they unboxed a clearly not new system with spelling errors on the box. And it was the last video posted to their YouTube channel.
Yeah.
They haven't posted anything on their channel since that video, which was pretty well ripped to shreds for being... that's not
awful.
A factory. That's not a factory unit. That's a thing. You put
that's
in a
bullshit.
Box. That's
it's bullshit, and you're lying to people.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Thumbs down.
Just as an aside, I looked up one of the prior Stardom events just to prove to myself that I wasn't crazy. And here I'm looking at an event from 2001. It was the Stardom 10th anniversary Grand Final Osaka Dream Cinderella. Was the name of their fucking wrestling event.
Rolls off the tongue.
It's a very Japanese thing to just Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. It all fucking works.
Rolls right off the fucking tongue.
Grand Final Dream Osaka Cinderella. It's not even an acronym. It's they just said all that shit.
Well, where does March fit? I don't think it. If I'm being objective, not not just speaking to my own personal sensibilities, if I'm being objective, I still feel like February beats it on
I think
in terms
so.
of Steam Deck, Elden Ring, and Horizon. Whereas
that's going to be hard to top.
Here, it's Kirby. Kirby's the big thing on this month, but it's kind of the only really big thing besides Gran Turismo 7.
Yeah.
And the news wasn't great,
No.
A lot of things being consolidated. But I do still think overall it's better than January because Kirby's a masterpiece.
Kirby, Death Stranding, Mario Kart DLC, I think that firmly puts it above January.
All right, let's move on to April. Not a lot happened in April.
Not a lot ever happens in April.
Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, which had been delayed a bunch of times, finally showed up. Yeah. MLB 22, the show, comes out for all the regular platforms plus Switch for the first time. That was a big deal.
And looks great.
Yeah. Looks okay on the Switch, but looks great everywhere else.
Stop it. It does not.
Looks competent.
It looks okay.
Yeah. Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers Edition came out. That was really cool. Nobody Saves the World came out for Switch and PS4 and PS5. Bug Snacks finally got released on other platforms, came to Switch and Xbox.
What a wonderful game that is.
So I've heard. Haiku the Robot came out on PC. Nintendo Switch Sports releases. That was kind of a big deal. Didn't hit with quite the bang that Wii Sports did, but
sure,
it's probably never going to happen again. But did solid. The Playdate finally released. That little crank crank.
That thing's so weird.
Handle thing. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I kind of want one, but
sure,
it's an interesting experience. And Sonic 2 hit movie theaters, which
greatest movie ever made, according to my children.
I was extremely lukewarm on.
Greatest movie ever made, Chris.
Outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that goes above January, but
yeah, I mean, Sonic 2 was, regardless of anything, Sonic 2 was a huge movie. And looking at January had Pokemon Legends Arceus, but I think the Sonic movie combined with MLB The Show hitting Nintendo for the first time and Switch Sports puts it just barely above January, but not by much.
Yeah.
I could go either way on that. Pokemon Legends Arceus was a big deal. But it's kind of the only,
show, Chrono Cross, and Lego Star, and Nobody Saves the World.
Yeah.
I
April
feel
beats
like
January, but that's as far as it gets.
Yeah.
That's as far as it gets. All right, May, another light month. Gravatar Recharged launches first on the Atari VCS. Comes to the other platforms later. Actually, the following month, we'll get to that. But Gravatar Recharged is fucking great. And I liked that they were pushing that as a VCS timed exclusive. Apex Legends went mobile. Pac-Man Museum Plus came out, and that was kind of it for games. Yeesh.
Yeah.
Just those three, huh? Yeah, that was about all I saw that was really worth mentioning. I probably could have, I could have and probably did miss things, but, what are you going to do? The Embracer Group announced its intent to acquire the assets of Square Enix Europe, including studios Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal, along with associated intellectual properties from Square Enix, including Tomb Raider. I mean, not crazy about this Embracer Group thing, but this is one of those situations Square doesn't want this shit. Square is focused on NFTs and is willing to let fucking Tomb Raider go to divert that money on more NFT bullshit. They get what they deserve. Fuck off with that nonsense.
They do.
I haven't really seen what this did for the world, but Electronic Arts apparently formally withdrew its license with FIFA after nearly 30 years.
Yeah, I don't think it made much of a difference.
Does that mean it's they're just no longer exclusive, but they're still making FIFA games? Is that what's going on, or is their next soccer game of 2023 not going to be a FIFA game?
Man, I don't know.
I don't either.
It might have already happened. That is how little I pay attention to soccer games.
That is fair. There was an Indie World showcase. I didn't really write down what was announced in it. I don't think there was anything earth-shattering in it. And the final, as of today, the final Chicken Wiggle Kickstarter update was posted. The last time they posted anything about that Kickstarter campaign was May 2022.
That is insane.
Yeah. What a bunch of assholes.
What a bunch of assholes.
These guys suck at hokey pokey. All right.
Yeah, I think that's at the bottom.
Yeah, this doesn't even beat January. No way.
No.
At least January had more things and it had Pokemon. We've got bad news, questionable news, a great Pac-Man collection, a big MMO
but
going
still
yeah.
a Pac-Man collection.
Yeah, still a Pac-Man collection. Gravatar Recharge was great, but it's not that great. I mean, I love it. I love that game.
But still.
So, yeah, May. All right, we're going to do June before we take a break. So let's see. Halfway point of the year. How does June looking? June is when we got that not E3. So
yes.
Some fun stuff happened there. Diablo Immortal came out. How is that? What's the matter? You guys don't have phones? Mobile Diablo game that people were not too happy about. Gravatar Recharge came to every other console. The Wonder Boy collection came to Switch and PS4. And most people didn't realize a much better Wonder Boy collection was right around the corner because in games and strictly limited are criminals.
Are, again, a bunch of assholes.
They unfortunately make decent stuff, but they just do it in the scuzziest way. Yeah. Mario Strikers Battle League came out, which is pretty cool. I know a lot of people wanted a lot more out of that game. I'm just happy to have a current generation version of Mario Strikers. It's fun to play. Played it with my nephew a couple times. It is a blast.
That's really all that matters at the end of the day.
Right.
Like, is the game fun?
It doesn't need to have, 6 years of constant updates. It would be great if it did. Don't get me wrong. It would be great if it had more single-player content. I would love that, and it would be great. But what's there is still very good. Could be better, but it's still very good. Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes plus Resident Evil 7 came to next-gen platforms, PS5 and Xbox Series X. That's pretty cool.
That is very cool.
Probably the
with
biggest
a
game
ton of upgrades and different stuff. It was pretty cool.
Probably the biggest release of the month, Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge. What a freaking masterpiece of a game. Love this game.
So good.
And it was so highly anticipated, and it delivered so hard. It was just love it to death. Fall Guys went free to play and came to all current generation platforms. We've gotten a lot of playtime out of Fall Guys in the last year. It's not constant. It hasn't reached Minecraft levels in the house, but John regularly goes back to Fall Guys. That game is really freaking fun.
It's a fun little game.
Yeah, I love that. I'm glad it's everywhere now. Sonic Origins released, which I still haven't bought because I still think it's a little too expensive. And apparently the Sonic 3 emulation isn't amazing, but I feel like from what I've come to understand about it, it's only not amazing if you are really into Sonic games. If you really know the physics of the older Sonic games, something's not right. And I know the guy that Christian Whitehead, I think, is the guy who did it. He wasn't happy with the way Sonic 3 came out, hoping that there was going to be some sort of update. I don't know that there was, but regardless, Sonic Origins kind of a big deal. Electhead came out for Switch. That was a really good game. That was a very good game. Yeah, I liked that one a lot. Capcom Fighting Collection, Fire Emblem Warriors. I still don't have that. Hopes.
Still really want it.
Yeah, I want it, but I don't know how much use I'd get out of it. And these collections seem to happen all the time, so it's I'll get it eventually, and if I don't, I'll get the next one,
Yeah. When they collect the collections.
Yeah. The Capcom Fighting collection.
It's coming at some point. The collections are definitely coming.
Let's see. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. They're still making Fire Emblem Warriors games. Portal the Companion Collection came out for Switch. Oh, my heart. It's so good. Those games have not aged a day, and they run brilliantly on the Switch. It was fantastic to finally play through the co-op campaign with John. God, Portal Companion Collection, just chef kiss. Cuphead, The Delicious Last Course, which I didn't realize until today. Delicious Last Course is DLC.
Really? Okay.
I just, Delicious Last Course. It's fun. I didn't realize they were doing the whole Dawn of Sorrow thing. DLC. Sure. I see what you did. You clever.
Clever girl.
Yeah, good stuff. Cuphead's always great. Hard as balls, but always great. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak DLC hit both Switch and PC. And that's about it for game releases. That's pretty solid. Not a amazing.
That is pretty solid.
But solid. Very, very solid.
Does that go above Elden Ring? I don't think it does.
I don't think it does, but we haven't gotten to the news yet. There was a Nintendo Direct Mini partner showcase where they announced that the Persona games were coming to Switch, and we also later found out they were coming to other platforms as well. They showed off Live Alive, Sonic Frontiers, Return to Monkey Island, Nier Automata, and Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. Then on June 2nd, we had the State of Play with the big hits being Final Fantasy 16, the Resident Evil 4 Remake, and Street Fighter 6. Limited Run did their showcase, Summer Games Fest happened, Xbox and Bethesda happened with Diablo 4, Minecraft Legends, and more Starfield. So we had the not E3 stuff, which was a lot of fun. Maybe not the biggest announcements of all time, but
fun.
But fun. Like, it was a good time. I'm looking forward to it theoretically being much more centralized this year.
Yeah.
And there was the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Direct. So that's tough. All right, we're definitely better than May. We're definitely better than January. April was Chrono Cross in the show. Yeah, we're better than that, right? Just Ninja Turtles alone and Fall Guys going free to play. Like, this is a good month. And, the whole not E3 stuff, Portal coming to Switch. Let's see, March. March was Kirby. That's tough. I don't think it beats February yet, right? Because
I think it goes right behind February.
Yeah, February's got the amazing Nintendo Direct plus Elden Ring and Horizon Forbidden West. But yeah, I do think it beats March. Gran Turismo 7. I'm just gonna start highlighting some things to make it easier to look at. GT7 was huge. Triangle Strategy was a pretty decent deal. And Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Yeah, I think it beats March.
I think so.
Because March also had the Embracer Group buying Dark Horse and Atari buying Moby Games.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all right. June goes right under February. June. All right. So that's the halfway point. We're currently sitting at, from worst to best, May, January, April, March, June, and February being the best month of the year so far. Will anything be able to top February? I don't know, but we'll find out soon. We're going to take ourselves a break, and when we come back, we're going to hit the back half of the year. You are listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around. Hi everyone, Kris here. Podcast listening is free, but podcast creation is not. That's why the Geekade Patreon exists. In an effort to help us pay the bills, we've got a Patreon page set up where you can gain access to our monthly podcast topic schedule, get early access to many of our shows, and more. If you'd like to help support Geekade and keep these shows running week after week, head over to the Geekade Patreon page, linked in the show notes of this very podcast. And now, here's a quick look at some of the other original content available now from our partners and Geekade.com.
Hundo P, as the kids say. Well, first up, Kris, we've got a brand spanking new patron-exclusive podcast from the folks at Weekend Rental.
Emphasis on the spanking.
That's right. Ryan and Andy from Weekend Rental have decided to revive their old movie podcast and bring it directly to your ear holes once a month as part of Geekade's early access feed. David Crane's Amazing Movie Time is a show about movies, laughter, and, well, if we're being honest, a shocking lack of David Crane. Their first episode tackles the new movie RRR, which gives new meaning to the word spectacle. Don't miss DC's Amazing Movie Time, Episode 1 RRR, exclusively for Geekade Patreon Early Access Tier members.
Have you seen trailers for this movie?
I have not.
I think you should. It is special.
Is it pronounced RRR? Am I doing that correctly?
No idea.
Zerr.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah. I genuinely want to listen to this podcast.
All right. I'll check it out.
That's the thing.
They're good dudes.
Hey, yeah, they are good dudes, and I'm thrilled that we're getting some Patreon exclusive content here. And speaking of Patreon exclusive content, next up, it is that time of year, or at least it was that time of year, when Matt and I had planned to do the Waveback Awards 2022. And in fact, we did record the 2022 Waveback Awards. But the entire time, I was thinking to myself, I miss the way we used to do these things. I used to go completely bug nuts crazy and listen to every single song from every game and then try to figure out. It was nuts. So we eventually stopped. But thinking about the music this year and doing the show where Matt and I just talk about, all right, here's 5 songs apiece from games that we really liked this year. It seems so underwhelming. I'm glad that we were able to do it for the last couple of years, but we haven't done proper Waveback Awards in years. And you know what? It is time. So I decided after we recorded this podcast, I brought up to Matt, I said, hey, Matt, I feel like we can do it this year. I'm going to enlist some help from some people, and if I can get enough help, I think we can record an actual Waveback Awards episode. And it turns out that I can. I've spoken to a handful of people. I got a lot of input from a lot of people who played a lot of games that I didn't. And I feel that our list has become, or at least will become in the next week or so, comprehensive enough to do a proper Waveback Awards show in February. So the January episode of Waveback is going to be Mario Kart 64, which we're going to record next week. So Waveback's going to be late, but it's going to result in a proper Waveback Awards episode. And getting back to the Patreon, I edited that episode, and we're going to throw up the pseudo Waveback Awards as a patron exclusive episode, which will probably have a lot of crossover with the actual Waveback Awards episode, theoretically. But we're going to throw that up in the patron exclusive stuff, just for funsies. So there you go. If you want to hear a little bit more Waveback goodness, Patreon exists.
Do it.
Do it. Do it to it.
Do it, Doug. Finally, Chris, Evan and Angie, Evangie, as it were, Evangeline, are the heart and soul of this week's episode, which made it a real fucking bummer when they couldn't make it to record the show's January episode. Fortunately for us all, Karen and Chris were able to borrow Paul from a theater near you to cobble together a surprise 2022 recap special. From Willow to Law & Order to Umbrella Academy, Peacemaker, and more, 2022 was a great year for Tiwi, and listing favorites was a genuinely interesting experience. Be sure to check out this week's episode 260. Thank God Evan and Angie aren't on it. No, best of 2022, sorry.
It was a fun episode, and Karen's favorite show ever is Umbrella Academy, and she completely forgot to mention it during the episode.
That is just another show that I have never been able to get into.
I like it. She loves it, but I like it. It's a good time.
I'm happy.
Well, for all that and more from us and our partners, be sure to keep your eyes on Geekade.com. We are back. Time to continue our year-long escapade of, looking back on the year. So what else did 2022 bring us? We're in July now. July 2022. The long-awaited Klonoa Fantasy Reverie series?
Yeah, Reverie.
Yeah, okay. I didn't love it. I wish I did, but I don't know. Klonoa, yeah. I liked that Game Boy Advance game we played for the summer series at one time, but I liked these games. The demo it didn't really blow me away. So
were these the remakes or were these newer?
Yeah, the remakes.
These were the remakes. Yeah.
The second remake of the first game was a re-remake.
Yeah,
and then a remake of the second game. So yeah, I'm glad for Klonoa fans for sure, but yeah, it didn't really stick with me. Power Wash Simulator came out for PC and Xbox.
Yeah, I just don't get it.
I want it.
I just don't get it.
I want it. Stray came out for PS4, PS5, and PC. That's a big one.
Fucking love that game.
That game was very good. I need to finish it.
You really do.
I do.
Really good.
Live Alive also came out for Switch. That is another very big one. Apparently, that was one of those big deal lost, never localized RPGs that finally got a chance. It was like a pixel remaster. It looks great on the Switch. A lot of people loved this game.
Yeah, I definitely want to pick that up at some point as well.
Yeah, I tried the demo and it didn't stick with me, but maybe I'll try it again another time. The Turrican Anthology Volumes 1 and 2 came to Switch and PlayStation 4. This is, again, in games and Strictly Limited doing their thing. There was a previous Turrican collection that was kind of minimal, and then this one shouldn't have been two different games, but goddamn that they do their work on this. They added the interactive map, you can change the music and the controls, and these were really, really good collections. Just ridiculously well made. And then Xenoblade Chronicles 3 came out.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big deal. So
lots
July,
of people care.
Solid list for games, especially RPGs. You got Live Alive and Xenoblade Chronicles in the same month.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah, that's pretty big. But outside of that, and Stray, obviously one of the most talked about games of the year. Stray was really great. As far as news, Nintendo announced that the eShop for the 3DS and Wii U will be shut down in March 2023.
Super big bummer.
Nintendo again began acquisition of animation studio Dynamo Pictures with plans to rename it Nintendo Pictures.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be a thing. And then Resident Evil premiered on Netflix, when it was then unceremoniously canceled a few months later.
What a bad show.
I didn't watch it. I didn't want to.
It just
I don't remember hearing anybody say anything good about it. And I don't remember anybody saying, you know what, you should really watch this Resident Evil show. So I'm not terribly surprised.
I don't know that
any wrong.
I don't know that any video game adaptation has been more unfaithful than the Resident Evil show. And I'm including the Mario Brothers movie.
That's a bold claim right there.
Like, it just is nonsense. It's Resident Evil in name only. And and the problem is that I think, honestly, there's a pretty good show in what they did, but they called it Resident Evil. And that's the problem. Like, if this would have been anything else, I don't know that it would have set the world on fire or anything, but you would have watched it and been like, oh, this is a pretty cool show. But you go in expecting Resident Evil, you see the Umbrella Corporation, fucking main character's name is Albert Wesker, and then, like, the rest of the story starts happening, and you're like, just fuck off. Just do something different. Call it something different. This isn't Resident Evil. I don't understand how it's hard.
Like, some pencil pusher at Netflix was like, yeah, well, we'll just, as long as we call it Resident Evil, we're gonna get an audience, because that's all you need. And nobody in the room said, no, we actually need to make, if you're gonna call it Resident Evil, you need to make it a Resident Evil show. You need to have some sort of ties to the source material. But no.
Yeah.
All right, so July. Where do we put July?
Oh, God. Honestly, that Resident Evil show is so bad it has to go to the bottom.
Ah, come on.
It's that bad.
Yes.
Even with Stray. That's how bad that show is, Chris. Even the fact that Stray came... No, I'm just kidding.
No, just no. It's definitely better than May, all right? May is Pac-Man and Gravatar and Embracer Group. And May is... And Chicken Wiggle. May's nothing. January.
Yeah, it's better than January.
Yeah, it's better than January.
Stray puts it above January. My mind.
Also has... Can't forget, January also has Arceus, but yes, I agree. Yeah, Stray is more important than Arceus. April is next. Lego Star Wars, Chrono Cross, Bug Snacks, Switch Sports.
Although nobody saves the world. But But Stray,
Sonic 2, but Stray. I mean, Stray
and Live Alive, I think, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Yeah, that's big. That's big enough to beat to beat April.
Yeah.
March, Gran Turismo 7, Triangle Strategy, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Bunch of bad news in the acquisitions.
I think it's right.
It's
kind of right there.
Does Resident Evil pull it down enough that those 3 games beat Stray? Yeah, I think so too. Just because, while I loved Stray, I didn't finish it. I did finish Kirby. So Yeah. All right, so it doesn't quite beat March, but it beats April. So there you go. July, fitting right in there. Let's see what August has to offer. Froggen. I don't know how you say that. I think it's Froggen.
Yeah.
Mega Man Battle and Fighters for Switch was another one of those weird Neo Geo Pocket games out of nowhere. Yep. Like, hey, there it is. 2 Point Campus. Apparently those 2 Point games are a big deal.
Yeah, somebody really likes them. I don't know who.
Matt Ramo really liked 2 Point Campus, matter of fact.
Did he?
Yeah.
All right.
Never would have guessed. Cult of the Lamb. That was cool. I didn't play that, but I heard
it's
a lot
really
of people
good
talk about that.
I think you'd like it.
I think I would too. Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered hit PC.
Such a good game.
Multiverses came out.
Such a bad game.
Blossom Tales 2, Minotaur Prince, such a good game. Kirby's Dream Buffet, another freaking great game. Curse to Golf, you played that one, right?
Oh, so good. Yeah, you would also absolutely love that game.
All right, it's still on my wish list. Madden 23 came out. Yars Recharge was fucking great. That came out on, I think that came out on VCS first and then everything else, but it might have all been in the same month. But yeah, Yars Recharged is fan-freaking-tastic. And Pac-Man World Repack and the Turtles Cowabunga Collection. That's a pretty decent slate of games right there.
Yeah, I feel like those games alone kind of put this in second place.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's see what the news had to offer. Gamescom took place in Germany. That's always a good time. The first Pokemon World Championships to take place in Europe happened. It had been in North America ever since it started. Season 2 of the Cuphead show.
Yeah, 2 seasons of Cuphead in 1 year?
That's pretty crazy.
That's pretty nuts.
There was a Pokemon Presents presentation talking about Scarlet and Violet and a Splatoon 3 Direct. So pretty solid news. Some good TV and some very good games.
I feel like this is in like the second or third spot. Cowabunga Collection and Curse to Golf really kind of, and Cult of the, man, that's good.
Yeah.
Not blockbuster games, not like AAA games, but
Blossom Tales 2, one of my favorites of the year. Kirby's Dream Buffet is another one of my favorites of the year. We've gotten a ton of play out of that. Curse to Golf is a big deal.
Spider-Man Remastered hitting PC, that's pretty big.
Yars Recharged, again, not a big deal for anybody who didn't play it, but anybody who did, Yars Recharged is fucking great. Cowabunga Collection, yeah, this is good stuff. We also had multiverses, but I'm not seeing any genuinely bad news or anything here. It's pretty much all positives.
Pretty good.
So, all right, it's not beating February, right? Because February is Elden Ring and Horizon.
Elden Ring and Horizon.
West.
That's hard to beat. I know what month is going to beat it for me, but I don't know that you're going to agree.
And that massive Nintendo Direct, obviously.
Yeah.
That's another big deal.
Yeah.
All right, so what was next? June. What was in June? June was Diablo Immortal, which everyone hated. Gravatar Recharge came to consoles. Strikers Battle League. Shredder's Revenge. That's a big hairy plus. Fall Guys going free to play is a big plus. Oh, Portal. Fuck. Yeah, this was Portal. This was Cuphead DLC, Xenoblade 3 Direct. Oh, and all the E3 stuff. Yeah, I think this beats that. I think August.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I feel good with that, but
yeah, I do too.
All right.
Hasn't beaten February yet, but August is currently in second place. Good month. All right, September rolls around for The Last of Us Part 1 for PS5.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Lego
It's just more Last of Us.
Yeah, it's just
great.
more Last of Us. It was a remake that didn't necessarily need to be made, but you know, it's not a bad thing that it was made. I don't love that they called it Part 1. The original one just being called The Last of Us is fine, but okay, whatever. Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
Something called Lego Brawls came out, which I think is like a Lego Smash Brothers type game, maybe.
I think so.
Horizon Chase 2 came out for iOS, not on platforms yet, so
it's really good.
Makes me sad. Splatoon 3 came out. NBA
also
2K23.
Really good.
Yeah, Splatoon 3 very good. Return to Monkey Island came to Switch and PC, also really good. Shovel Knight Dig came out.
Really
good.
I
didn't play. Tunic finally came to PS4, PS5, and Switch.
Really good.
FIFA 23. Haiku the Robot finally came out on Switch. That was really good. I think you'd like that game. And that's the games. That's a good game selection right there.
Yeah, that's really good. Even if The Last of Us wasn't something that, like, it was really for you or me, because, like you said, not necessarily a remake that needed to be made or anything, still a pretty big deal and something that was very, very well received.
So game for game, if I'm looking pound for pound, stacking this up against August, this is tough, because August, Curse to Golf, Kirby's Dream Buffet, Blossom Tales, Cult of Lamb, Yards Recharged, and Cowabunga Collection versus Last of Us, Horizon Chase, Splatoon 3, Monkey Island, Shovel Knight Dig, Tunic, and Haiku. Let's see what the news has to bring. Google announced that Stadia is over. January 18th, Stadia is donezo. The Grand Theft Auto leak, where people saw very, very early work in progress footage of Grand Theft Auto, theoretically GTA 6. And of course, everyone was like, man, this game looks like ass. This is going to be terrible. Like, this is a work in progress, you dumb fucks.
Yeah.
There was a Nintendo Direct where they showed off Fire Emblem Engage, Octopath Traveler 2. They named Tears of the Kingdom. GoldenEye was coming to Switch Online. They unveiled Pikmin 4 and the Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. And then State of Play hit us with Tekken 8 and God of War Ragnarok update and some more Street Fighter 6 stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, the news-wise, Stadia is just funny. The GTA thing is kind of sad. So there was a proper direct the previous month. We had a Pokemon Presents and a Splatoon 3, but this one had a proper full direct that showed off Pikmin 4 announcement. GoldenEye coming to Switch Online. Also, we found out GoldenEye was coming to Xbox without online play for some reason. Oh, this is a tough one. I really think this is going back to back with August. I just don't know if it goes above or below it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Splatoon 3, I think, is carrying a lot of weight. That's a big...
Yeah, I feel like that has to put it above it.
Yeah,
Splatoon 3 and The Last of Us.
I think the rest of this stuff really cancels each other out. Like, I like the games in August personally better, but I don't think that they're bigger than Monkey Island coming back with Ron Gilbert, Shovel Knight Dig finally coming out, Splatoon 3. I mean, Horizon Chase 2 is only on iOS, so that's like, it's very cool, but it's also not quite wide release yet. And then you get those Nintendo Directs and State of Play. Tekken 8 looks freaking crazy.
Yeah, I'm
hyping up God of War Ragnarok. About that. I think September. I don't think it beats February yet, but September goes in the second spot.
Yeah.
Okay, October. Let's see. No More Heroes 3 gets ported to PS4 and 5 and Xbox. No Man's Sky gets ported to Switch. Dragon Ball The Breakers comes out, and I don't think anybody really liked it. Triangle Strategy gets ported to PC.
Shit about that game.
All I've heard is that people haven't really liked it all that much. NHL 23, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Persona 5 Royal comes to everything, Bayonetta 3 launches, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and Atari Mania comes to Switch, VCS, and PC. So that's solid. That's not amazing. It's not bad. Switch seemed to do the best that month between Mario and Rabbids, Bayonetta 3, and Atari Mania. I liked Atari Mania. It doesn't move the needle for anyone but me, but I think the game's great. Modern Warfare 2 is a big deal. Again, not to me, but big deal. Dragon Ball The Breakers was apparently a big letdown. Sparks of Hope is, I hear, pretty good. You can't really understate how big of a deal Call of Duty Modern Warfare is, too. Even though there has already been a game called Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and this is not a remake of that game. I hate you, Activision. Let's see how the news went. G4 dies. G4, relaunched in November 2021, dies in October of 2022. Didn't even last a year.
No, it was bad.
Yeah, it was never. That was never going to work.
It was really bad.
We also got the Genesis Mini 2 came out, which was neat. Not neat enough for me to really want to buy one, but it was neat. And we got the first teaser for the Mario movie that was not terrible. It's like the biggest collective sigh of relief on the internet. Okay. It doesn't look awful, which is better than most of us could have hoped for.
Better than we wanted or expected or maybe even deserved.
Maybe even just, yeah, I agree. All right, so where does this go? Where does this belong?
God, I want it to not go all the way to the top.
It's definitely
and
not
I don't think it doesn't go. I don't think it goes all the way to the top. I don't. Does it go into the second spot?
No.
Just because of like Call of Duty?
No, I don't think it does.
Okay.
I mean, because as big as, quote unquote, big as Call of Duty is, it's not the kind of thing that it's like, it's big from weight of inertia. It's not a thing that people are like rabidly excited about the new things that are happening. It's inertia. It's the next Call of Duty. It's just,
that's fair.
It's big, but it's not exciting. Bayonetta 3 being as cool as it is, it's the opposite end of the spectrum of Call of Duty. It was very ambitious, but again, it's not like changing the world. So, I mean, I don't think it beats, it definitely doesn't beat September. I don't think it beats August either, because August was Cowabunga Collection and Dream Buffet, which were two, like, Blossom Tales 2. I don't think, as much as I love Atari Mania, I don't know that beats that. And G4 dying an unsurprising death, Genesis Mini.
I mean, unsurprising,
I
feel is generous.
Inevitable.
Inevitable death, I think, is much more accurate.
All right, well, let's look at June. What was in June? Did we beat June? Man, how did June get so far down the list? Did August really beat June?
Yeah.
Curse to Golf, Cowabunga Collection, beating Shredder's Revenge, Fall Guys, Portal, and Cuphead?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, I certainly don't think it's beating that, right?
No.
June, Shredder's Revenge, and Portal? Yeah, no. What about March? What was in March? Kirby, Gran Turismo 7, and Triangle Strategy.
Yeah, I think it beats that. I think the strength of the collective sigh of the Mario trailer not being dog shit is enough to put it above that.
I think you're probably right. Although the Mario teaser trailer, it was the sigh of relief, but it was also like, that was a lot of ripping on Chris Pratt because we didn't get much.
Well,
this was just the teaser. So, sigh of relief, but is it enough to overtake Kirby and the Forgotten Land and Gran Turismo 7?
I'm okay with you putting it either in front or behind. I'm not going to fight you either way.
As much as I love Kirby, I do think you're right. I think the collective of it does have to beat March. I love Kirby, but I think just in sheer numbers, it's got to beat it. So that was October, right?
Yep.
All right. Here's a contender, I think. Because I don't think December's doing it for you, but I think,
straight to the top.
Yeah.
Straight to the top.
I have a hard time disagreeing with you, because we got Return to Monkey Island came to other platforms. Sonic Frontiers, which is apparently busted as shit, but not bad. God of War Ragnarok hits PS4 and 5.
Yeah.
Vampire Survivors comes to Xbox. Atari 50 comes to everything except VCS. It was unfortunately delayed for VCS, but still.
It's such a shame.
Tactics Ogre Reborn. Spider-Man Miles Morales gets put on PC. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. One of the best-selling games ever already.
Yeah.
There was the Front Mission First remake, which was, I don't know, it was a thing. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with you on moving it to the top, but just to cover the news, the Evercade EXP released, but an entire shipment was stolen, so a bunch of people didn't get their units. And yeah, that's right.
It's super shitty.
Cuphead Show Season 3 premieres on Netflix. 3 seasons in 1 year. What the hell is going on at Netflix Animation?
Yeah.
There was an Indie World Showcase. Though. Yeah, it is awesome because it's a solid show. My kids like it. There was an Indie World Showcase where they announced Sports Story, which is unfortunately a massive disappointment. And a cute game called Aka, which I'd like to try. And this is where we got the full Mario movie trailer premiere, which was made me an extremely happy guy. I think November definitely takes the cake.
Straight to the top. Yeah.
Elden Ring, it was Elden Ring and Horizon and that massive Nintendo Direct were amazing. But God of War Ragnarok,
Pokemon
Vampire Survivors, Pokemon, Atari 50, Mario trailer. Yeah, November, without a doubt, takes the number one spot.
Yeah. Best month for gaming, in our opinion.
And December, let's see where December is going to land. We got that Marvel's Midnight Suns game. Did anyone play that?
Man, when that game is $10, I will check it out.
Need for Speed Unbound, I heard, was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Need for Speed's always good. If that's what you're looking for.
Final Fantasy VII Reunion, Sports Story hits Switch, and that's unfortunately just a huge disappointment, including for the developers. Did you see that story?
No.
There's a secret room in the game, which is like full of the developers bitching about like how the game was forced to be a lot of different things than they wanted it to be, and like it's a thing. Apparently the game's a real bummer, like a bummer all around. Atari 50 hits the Atari VCS with a bonus Circus Atari included as well, and that's about cool. It for gaming. It is cool. I'm such a champion for the VCS because it's like, how is that still alive? I'm glad that it is, and I love this thing. I play it a pretty decent amount, but it is superfluous. I play it a decent amount for the novelty of playing the games that I'm playing on Atari hardware. Everything I have for this system is readily available elsewhere and probably plays better anyway. But Stadia couldn't cut the mustard, but the VCS is still getting releases. Still a thing.
That's wild.
Still kicking. Absolutely wild. Let's see. The U.S. Federal Trade Commission moves to block the proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard by Microsoft. The Game Awards 2022 happened and was just as much of a sham as it ever is, and Sonic Prime premieres on Netflix.
But we did get Death Stranding 2. So it wasn't all bad at the Game Awards.
It wasn't a complete wash, no.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what won any awards, though.
I think Elden Ring won everything. I think is what it eventually came down to.
Probably right. So, not notable for a lot of reasons.
No.
It was a December. December is usually not that big. Sonic Prime is a pretty decent show, too. So I have to give props for that. I think it probably beats our May and January and April group, right? Because May was just Gravatar and Bad News, and April, Lego Star Wars, the show, Chrono Cross, Bug Snacks, but nothing super new, and really not much in the news. And Sonic 2 in theaters. I like Sonic Prime more than I like the Sonic 2 movie, so...
Well, there you go.
But I don't think it beats any of the other like the good stuff. Like once we get to March, or what was in March again? Gran Turismo 7, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Yeah, it's not beating that. So
no,
I think it's going under March, but it's beating the genuinely not great months. It was a perfectly mediocre month.
Yeah, perfectly average.
That's 2022 in a nutshell. I'd say for gaming, all in all, it was a pretty good year.
Yeah, not bad. Like really overall, not a bad year.
Like for life,
awful.
I didn't love 2022. There were a lot of scary, not so great things that happened in 2022. But as far as entertainment is concerned, maybe not so much movies. Movies did well, not amazing. But video games, I think it was a great year. TV, I also thought it was a great year for TV. Can't really comment on books and music all that much because I'm wildly out of touch. But
because I don't know how to read. But
hi, I'm a professional writer, but no, I cannot read. All right, so our final rankings. Dead last, going last to first. May, January, April, July, December, March, October, June, August, September, February, and November. That's how we ranked the months of 2022. Good stuff.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. That was a fun exercise.
I was.
It was ridiculous, but it was fun. So, I don't know, you got any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Nah, man. I'm looking forward to see next week's show when we talk about the year not that was, but the year that could be. Well,
I think next week's the awards,
sorry,
right?
2 weeks. Yeah, sorry, 2 weeks.
Next week's the Golden Cavemans.
That's
2002
right.
Golden Caveman Awards, where we talk about our favorite games of 2022.
With all of the very real, very researched, debated, really top men, Lois, in a lot of rooms talking about these games and what's going where. Who's taking home a Golden Caveman this year, Chris?
They're very prestigious awards.
That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Jesus, I wasn't getting there. I'm very tired. So I wasn't getting there. You could have given me till tomorrow. Wasn't going to get there.
I'm looking for my notes right now because I know I filled out my Game of the Years. 2022 year in review. I don't know. I'll find them somewhere. But yes, I have my awards all picked out. And just recently ran into my biggest bullshit of the year award. So I was glad I was able to fill that slot.
Very exciting.
I was afraid I was going to have to drop that award. But no, I found it. I found it with glowing.
Somebody came through as they always do.
Yep. Biggest bunch of bullshit award will be awarded. But yeah, that's our show. Join us next week for the Golden Caveman Awards 2022. The best of the best and maybe even some of the worst of the worst. Extremes of all kinds awarded by us, and fun will be had by all.
That's right.
We are on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, we aren't very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. If you'd like to get early access to this show's episodes, as well as a bevy of other shows on the Geekade Podcast Network, check out our Patreon, also linked to in the show notes. It helps keep this show running week after week, and all our patrons are loved and appreciated by mail. Got to keep the USPS in business, my friends.
That's the kind of mail you meant.
Yes. No, not by.
Evan.
Yeah. The show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by Banjo Guy Ollie. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for being male and for making the show listenable for all you folks. I'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That is it, everybody. Thanks for listening. On behalf of Dan and myself, keep playing games.
Do it. Play them.